What's up, good people? What's up? Bash Mutumba right here with this week's episode of Ugandan Juice. Well, this month is ending, so let's hope the banks have already credited. Yeah, the accounts have already been credited, and the weekend will definitely be a lit one, obviously. And about this week's stories, well, it hasn't been all happiness. Well, Uganda's lost first off. I'll just begin with that actually. We lost 3-0 at the hands of Tanzania, which wasn't a fun event. At first, we thought it was an obvious thing. Since we are used to beating Tanzania, we are accustomed to that. During even the times when they had big stars like Mrisho Ngasa, we used to beat them. All Sekafa tournaments, we have the biggest record. But still, this time around, it wasn't nice. Really, Uganda. And we wouldn't expect to lose at such a big margin as 3-0. It was so embarrassing for us, even though we had already qualified, and that game was just a game to play for honor. It was really not good to be beaten 3-0, because even at the start, people like Salvador, our comedian, he was already making fun of the Tanzanians, telling them to get ready with his fake Swahili, of course, like many of us. He was telling them to get ready for us, that we're going to beat them, but really in the end, the Tanzanians had the last laugh, and it was a big thing really to talk about all over the place. And the most memorable instances after the 3-0 win, let alone the wins that the Tanzanian players got. The Tanzanian players were given plots of land and big checks and things of the sort. Well, for us, we came back home with our tails between our legs, just as usual. But Harmonize made it very hard for Eddie Kenzo. Throughout the game, he kept tagging Eddie Kenzo on his Instagram, on the Insta stories, like, Eddie Kenzo, how are you, my bro? And Kenzo responded, trying to say, really, we've just given you a chance, just like everyone else said. Every Ugandan was giving that excuse that, you know, we are good neighbors, we've given you a chance. Yeah, we left you to qualify because for us, you had already qualified. And on the other hand, people like Andrew Kabura, he also posted a story, like a tweet. His tweet read like this: Kenya, this is how you help a brother, not what you did at Nambole in 2011. Watu wetu wa Tanzania, congratulations. Because if you remember very well, Kenya had a chance to leave us qualify during that the 2011 session of the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers, and all we needed was a win, but Kenya really held us strongly to a 0-0 draw. It was a 0-0 draw, and we failed to qualify that particular time, and we had spent over 24 years, I guess, without qualifying, and Kenya really made it hard for us. But right about now, all these journalists, like for example Andrew Kabura, he's a celebrity journalist. He has worked for Super Sport, and he has worked for NTV, for Radio City. So yeah, he's right there, and he claims that Ugandans really just give the chance to Tanzania to qualify, which is somehow believable anyway. But the worst part of it is the beef between Zari and Diamond. It just went worse, because Diamond mocked us by posting a video about how since he managed to score Zari to make her get kids, how come or how possible would it be for them to fail to score us in the game? And it was a direct diss at Zari, of course. So Zari also went up to say, to counter all those disses when the Hafans tried to diss her in the way Diamond had done. And really, it wasn't good to see, because in the end, it was the same old arguments that we have always had, the same old disses that Tanzanians do against Ugandans. Things like how Tanzanians can't speak good English, things like how Ugandans are not that good at anything, jokes about Idi Amin, jokes about the raid in Kagera, such random jokes, of course. And in the end, it was just nothing really serious. Really, it's not a big deal to me. I think these are just mocks or things that rivals do to themselves and neighbors at that. So really, people shouldn't take it as a very big deal with very hard feelings when someone says you can't read or you can't speak, or things like your country is not good enough, you have a dictatorship, or things of the sort. Really, it's just neighbors being neighbors. And anyway, another story here in Uganda that's really making rounds, that's the Uganda Airlines story. And well, as you know, Uganda Airlines has been active. Uganda hasn't had an airline for a very long time, and right about now it has been rejuvenated. But the only scandalous thing that has happened in this particular thing is the fact that Uganda, as the government, doesn't own more than 0.001% of shares in that company. Imagine, the Uganda government owns 0.001% of shares. Over 99.9% of the shares are owned by individuals. Imagine. It's such a weird thing to say, because these particular people were asking for a loan from the government of 280 billion Uganda shillings to finance a project which the government doesn't even own 1% of shares in. Wow. Well, if you all thought corruption was big in other places, really you should come to Uganda and see how corrupt people are. But let's hope it was just a mistake like the ministers claim. Let's hope it's that, and let's wait and see if this project gets funded anyway. And then the other thing is Fresh Kid. Fresh Kid is actually a big sensation around here in Uganda, and recently he started singing. Of course, he got noticed by the music he did. He a viral video, of course, in this social media era. He made a viral video rapping one of the lines of Don MC, who is a veteran rapper, and also he was singing songs of Fikfa Maker. Yeah, I think it's not even by mistake that he calls himself Fresh Kid, because Fikfa Maker's nickname is Fresh Boy. So yeah, Fresh Kid became famous, and he has been the talk of every single place all over. In fact, not just national media but also international media. Even the BBC itself wrote a story about Fresh Kid. But all this has become so in the case that things haven't been good on his side, because the government doesn't want him to sing anymore. He's only 7 years old, and first off, the minister claims that he shouldn't be singing and he should be in school, and that if he continues to sing, he faces prison. He's going to be taken to juvenile prison. That the Ugandan constitution says any child below 18 is not supposed to work. So Fresh Kid singing, that means that he's working and it's illegal, and he's so young. That's what the minister claims. So for that very reason, she says Fresh Kid is not supposed to what? To sing. And Patrick Senyonjo really came out to say that for him he's still studying, and even the manager of Fresh Kid himself, Patrick, said the kid is still studying and it's not a big deal, because we got him right from the village and brought him to Kampala and started getting him a job or things like that to begin working around. Not a job of working, but trying to nurture his talent or something of the sort. So really the manager said it shouldn't be a bad thing that Fresh Kid sings. And sad enough is that the minister wants the kid to undergo a drug test. The minister wants the kid to undergo a drug test. It's really not easy to understand why we would want a 7-year-old to undergo a drug test, but maybe because of the kind of lyrics the kid writes. The kid really writes very deep and mature lyrics and serious rhyme schemes. You would expect him to sing nursery rhymes, but he sings like a mature rapper, like trap and stuff like that. He sings more like Fikfa Maker. So it would be understandable that you doubt where he gets such abilities, but it's so far-fetched to say this kid should really get into prison if he fails to do these things, and he should have a drug test. Well, anyway, that's all from me today. I'm heading to Waiki Bender's Maiden concert at Serena Hotel, and please like and comment and subscribe for more. Ciao.